the Sports Block. My name is Will Giddis alongside Taylor Urkel. We are here at the East Regional Finals with Middle Creek High School and Richmond County. I'm going to pass this off to Taylor. She's got some things to say.
Well, this is the first of the three-game series for Middle Creek and Richmond. Richmond is 25-5 this season in the Southeastern Conference, and they are second seed. Middle Creek is 22-6, and we are in the Tri-9 Conference, and we are also the second seed. Teams we're going to be looking out for tonight in the West Regional Final is East Forsyth. They're the first seed in the Piedmont Triad, and Huff, which is the second seed in Mecklenburg.
Yeah, and it's shaping up to be a great game here. You know, we're in the Final Four. This is the best of the best, and we're playing a best-of-3 series, meaning that one of these teams has to win 2 games to advance to the final game of the entire thing. That's for the states overall. So it's very exciting. It's very electric in the air. Everybody's coming out to see this. Everybody's excited, players, fans, teachers. It's the farthest that Middle Creek has ever gotten in any male sport in terms of playoff progression.
Right, and you don't know when this is going to end. You don't know if it can end Friday or Saturday. You don't know who's going to win the first team. You just don't know. And I think that the 3-game series is a really good way to end the whole thing, because it just gives both teams another chance if they were to have a bad game.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we're going to stop talking for a little bit. We got the national anthem coming up, so we're going to play that, and then we're going to go straight into the baseball game. How's it going, everybody? We're back with the Sports Block. Big Mike just joined us here. He's our third person commenting here today. How's it going?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. But yeah, we're here. We're just waiting for the national anthem to start off, honor our country and whatnot. Let's talk about last game in case some of you guys missed it. Middle Creek ended up winning 3-2 over Ashley County, or Millbrook, I'm sorry. And we beat them 4-3. We ended up winning in the bottom of the 7th inning. What happened was Millbrook started off the first inning, top of the first, with 2 runs. Middle Creek quickly answered with 3. There's a lot of innings where not really much happened. We got to the 6th inning. They scored a run and tied it at 3-3. We shut them out the next inning. Bottom of the 7th, we come up. Jimmy Boyd gets on base. Keenan Herring comes up to bat, hits a double. And the right fielder ended up overthrowing the third baseman, so Jimmy came in to score. It was very dramatic. It was a walk-off win, and I think it definitely got this team going. The morale is high. We got momentum.
Even if when Sal came in to close it out, the last 2 innings, when he came in the top of the 6th, there was a guy at third, and that's a lot of pressure, especially coming in the game with a guy at third. And that's that could have been the winning run for that team, for
Yeah.
Millbrook.
And a really big play was when Sal threw someone out at first. I mean, you don't see it a lot, but it was definitely important because that, he could have made it to third because there's a couple more hits after he had picked him off at first. So that was really important for Sal.
Yeah, definitely. So you like you said, you almost never see pickoff moves, successful, and it works when we needed it to work. If, like you said, there were a few hits after that. I think, judging from what I saw after the game was over with the hits that were placed, I think he probably would have scored had he not been thrown out, and that could have resulted very differently for Middle Creek.
Right. And Sal did very good. He hasn't pitched in a while, and he did very good, closing it out.
Yeah, you don't see much of Sal that often. Jimmy Boyd usually DHs for him, and otherwise he's either pitching or playing first base, I believe.
So now we got Jimmy Boyd pitching for us tonight, don't we?
Yeah, we got him starting on the mound. He's one of our better pitchers. I'd say competition between aces between him and Graham Edwards. He's a right-handed pitcher. He has a quick wind-up, meaning he gets the ball out fast, and he does a great job at hiding the ball from the batters, which doesn't allow them to pick the ball up right away, and that can definitely impact the other team's batting.
Yeah, and he does have good control too with the ball, which is always a good key.
Yeah, great control. He throws very hard. Not very hard. He throws hard. I forget what we clocked him at. What do we have him at?
He's usually average around 85, 90, I believe.
Yeah, I think we're going to stand up for the national anthem here.
Everyone could please rise, remove your caps, and address the flag in center field for the playing of our national anthem.
Back. I feel, a lot of people will go to baseball games and they'll get kind of annoyed with the national anthem. They feel like it might delay the game. I don't think that at all. It is very important to honor our war veterans, honor those who have served, and, you can't do enough for those guys who go overseas. They fight for us, they keep us free, and this is the least we can do for them.
You're very right. And back to pitching. We don't know much about Richmond because they are so far away. They're, near South Carolina. We don't see them much. Last time we saw them was in summer ball about 2 years ago, but I have heard that they have some pretty impressive pitching, and last game they beat Ashley, who also has very good pitching, so that's something that we definitely need to look out for tonight.
Yeah, one of Middle Creek's strong points, one of our advantages we have over teams is that we are a very good hitting team. We have good defense, we have pretty good pitching, but what we really rely on is the offense to produce. And if the other team takes that away from us, we're going to have trouble in this 3-game series.
Yeah, very true. But even if the visitors score first, we're coming back pretty strong. Even I think harder to get those easy base runs and steals and stuff to really score on top.
Yeah, it's definitely important to not only hold the other team to no runs in the first inning just to get things started, but if you do give up runs, you have to answer back because then they have momentum going forward, and that can just spill over and not work out too great.
Right, and I've been kind of watching the boys as they're warming up, and they're looking really good as far as hitting. they seem pretty confident. I've been hearing them all day talk about how confident they are, so hopefully not too confident, but I think both teams are really prepared for this game tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like they don't have tremendous size like Millbrook had last game, but I'm seeing full goatees on these guys, and full goatees can be bad.
I mean, it doesn't matter really how big they are anymore because, the smaller ones, they're faster. They can even hit, really well. It's just, I don't really think it depends on size too much anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely, especially at this level of play.
So now it looks like we have a different catcher going here tonight, number 14 for Middle Creek. So what is Austin Parker not playing tonight?
I don't know what's up with that. That's Daniel Sandiford back there.
Austin is DHing tonight for Sandiford.
Oh, okay.
Right. And number 7 is up to bat for Richmond, Smith.
The first pitch now against Richmond is a strike.
And like I said earlier, this is Jimmy Boyd on the mound, number 1, right-hander, 85 to 90 mile per hour fastball. And that was a good job by Graham right there. It wasn't really difficult ground ball. It was hit softly. It was an easy bounce. Just good job keeping fundamental in that one. I guess eat him up.
It's a nice first out.
Yeah, definitely. Not giving up a solid hit or not giving up a walk. That's good for the beginning of the game.
And this brings number 9 Butler up to bat.
And that's going to go down foul the right field line. Right-handers have a tendency to chop the ball, or not chop the ball, but hook the ball towards the line when they bat. Just it's not something you control. Just a natural, result of hitting the baseball with the bat as a right-handed batter.
Yeah, they're also, it's interesting that they're going for the first pitch, especially Jimmy throws hard, and that's why they're fouling it to the right because they're late on it.
Yeah, I think, usually coaches tell you take the first pitch, see what he got. But with Jimmy up to bat, you don't want to, see his curveballs or breaking balls as it just did there. He went down and fished for it. That's an easy pop up to second base. But you usually want to get the fastball, and if it's right there, even if it's first pitch, you typically want to go for it.
Yeah, and even his fastball, he's got a lot of movement on all his pitches because of his speed too, and his strong legs.
And number 23 Brown is up for Richmond.
Yeah, and when you have movement on your fastball, it helps disguise your curveball a little bit easier. Hitters can't usually pick up the rotation on the ball, and that was a ball in the outside corner right there.
So we got 1-0 now with 2 outs already here in the top of the first. It's a nice strike to make it 1-1.
Yeah, Jimmy's coming out here strong right now. He's not missing badly. He's throwing strikes. He, top of the order. He's supposed to be their best batters, and he's making them look stupid, so far.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, definitely not if you're a fan of Middle Creek.
So it looked like a little outside. So it's ball 2, 2-1 now.
It looked like he was going for the backdoor curveball right there, but didn't exactly cross the zone on the outside portion of the plate.
They're definitely going for everything.
And that is the 3rd out of the inning. That is 1, 2, 3. We took them down very fast. Great job by Jimmy getting the outs. They were easy outs. Nobody was chasing anything. After the top of the first, it is 0-0. When we come back, the Mustangs are going to have their chance at batting. It's going to be the bottom of the first. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. back with the sports block. It is the bottom of the first inning, and Middle Creek is up to bat. So far, it's only been a half of an inning. Richmond got up to bat, and not much brewing, and easy ground balls, nothing that was dangerous looking. So Middle Creek's going to have the opportunity to come out here, strike some fast ones, get above on them, early in the game, put themselves at an advantage. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do here.
And Middle Creek is leading off with number 21, Tyler Scholler.
And watching the pitcher warm up, he didn't look like he was throwing his hardest. So maybe I was wrong because he just threw about the same speed right there. But Middle Creek's not going to have a problem with this pitcher, I don't think, unless he mixes his speeds up really well. Middle Creek's primarily a fastball hitter, so he's really going to have to keep his off-speed stuff going.
So, first pitch now against Middle Creek is a strike. First pitch swinging, fouled it right to third base.
That was an awkward hit right there. It was up and in on him, and he managed to, I guess he was late on it or didn't get his hands extended and grounded out to the second baseman for the first out of the inning.
It almost looked like he wasn't ready. He just kind of swung at it because it was close.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a little antsy here because this is just, perfect speed for, I guess, hitting. This is almost batting practice speed, so I think they might get a little over-aggressive here.
Yeah, very true.
Jimmy Boyd is up to bat now, who is also our pitcher for tonight.
That was a great first inning, though. What was it, only maybe 6 to 8 pitches?
Yeah, it was I'd say it was probably under 5 minutes, and that ball's fouled out of play, kind of towards our dugout.
So, one strike now. We got the first out. Scholler was grounded out to second.
Yeah, if you watch most of the playoff games, something you will notice is that Middle Creek is a great two-strike hitting ball team. I think a lot of our clutch hits have come on with 2 strikes, and that's a trait that you'd love to see in your team, just so you're not getting, okay, you have 2 strikes, well, this is automatic out. We are not like that at all. We are going to fight until we get the last pitch.
Even 2 outs, though, they go down hard with 2 outs. So that's the second ball now against Jimmy, so we got 2-1 here.
Yeah, and that showed up in last game. We had I only think we had 1 out, but I think Keenan had 2 strikes on him when he hit that double into the right center gap. Oh,
that was a hard swing.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Jimmy completely whiff on a fastball like I just saw there. He doesn't look like he's throwing anything special. Maybe I'm not, just seeing it because I'm not batting, but he just looks like a generic pitcher right here.
It's early in the game, too. I don't think they're ready, really, on the offense. They look a little late on almost everything.
Yeah, and it looked like Jimmy signaled to Keenan right there that the ball might be tailing away a little bit from him. And the way he was missing, I definitely believe it.
So Jimmy just struck out swinging to make it the second out now.
And Keenan Herring is up to bat.
Yeah, and communication's great. After you see a pitcher, it's important to let the dugout know what he's throwing, how hard he's throwing, locations. And that's a curveball. It looked like maybe a slider broke out to the outside corner of the plate.
It's making it, the first strike now. You got to take a pitch, look at it.
And I have a quick softball update. Holly Springs leads Jack Britt 1-0 in the end of the 4th.
So he's looking at the ball now to make it 1-1. And he's still, now we got 2 outs here.
Yeah, talking about Richmond County having great pitching. You know what? It's only the first inning, and they've gotten 2 outs, but I really don't think this pitcher is something that Middle Creek can't handle. Rarely do we ever encounter a team where, we're just completely not able to hit. Like, the only example I can think of was Carlos, who's on Holly Springs High School's team last year, who's now playing at NC State, and, he threw 94-mile-per-hour fastball, and he's just dominant over everybody. But in this year, I haven't seen anybody but comparable to him in terms of pitching.
Yeah, very true. So 2-2 now.
Keenan's going to call a timeout right there. Looked like he didn't like his footing in the box. And, as a former baseball player, that's typically something that, it's overlooked by many people. Sometimes the dirt can be loose or what have you that they need to fix. And that's a high pop-up down the first base line. It was in foul territory. It was no problem for him. He camps under and catches it. So after 1 inning of play, the score is 0-0. Middle Creek's going to come out and maybe hold Richmond here. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're watching the Sports Block. We're back with the Sports Block as he topped the second inning and Richmond County is up to bat. We got Jimmy Boyd on the mound. He's number 1. He's one of our best pitchers. And last inning he did a good job at the top of the lineup. He had a ground ball, easy ground balls on everything. And we're going to see here if he can keep up with that trend.
And up to bat is Richmond's pitcher, number 17, Mercer.
First pitch is low for a ball, 1.
Yeah, it looks like Jimmy started off with the curveball there, trying to catch him off guard a little bit. And as a hitter, you typically do not want to go after first pitch curveballs. So getting a first pitch curveball for a called strike can always put you at an advantage. As that one's grounded to the shortstop. Throws it over to first. Graham had a stretch for it. He's able to stay on the bag, and that is the first out.
You know, it's pretty interesting that your pitcher is your cleanup hitter.
Yeah, you know what? We've talked about this before. It's just in high school, pitchers not being able to hit is far from true. Typically, the pitchers are, the top hitters on the team just because when you get to the major leagues, all you focus on is pitching. When
True.
You're playing high school ball, you focus on both aspects of the game, pitching and hitting.
And number 33, Bauer, just hit it foul.
And that one's fouled down the first baseline. Looked like he was pretty late on the ball there, so Jimmy's bringing some heat right now.
Yeah, it looks like, even for both teams, they're all swinging pretty late and stuff. But they're all making contact with the ball at least.
Yeah, I mean, after a run through the lineup, I think everybody's going to have to see the other pitcher and make adjustments accordingly.
That drifted a little high to make it ball 1, so now you got 1-1. And that first out was grounded to shortstop to make it the first out.
That one's fouled right back to us. Kind of a weird angle he hit that ball at to make it foul right back at us.
I don't even know if it clipped anything. It almost looked like it just deflected backwards off the bat.
It looked like it kind of went in between his legs, but nonetheless, the count is now 1-2. And that curveball missed high and inside, and seeing it from back here, that one had great movement on it, even though it wasn't a strike.
Yeah, very close. So that makes it 2-2 now on him.
That's going to be Richmond County's first hit of the day, a ground ball in between short and third that got past Tyler. And I feel like even if he got a glove on that one, he wouldn't have much to play at first base, as it looked like he was hustling down there pretty quick.
Yeah, that was a nice little gapper too, though.
Yeah, great job by them of, getting the hit. He's the first, the number 5 batter? The number 5 batter.
Number 5.
Was the first person to get a hit.
Yeah, and he had long legs too, so he was there pretty quick.
And now up to bat is number 6, Buey.
And looks like Mill Creek has a pretty good double play opportunity. And that was an attempted pickoff by Jimmy Boyd. Looked pretty close from here. I would say the umpire made the right call. Graham hit him on his forearm as opposed to his hand. His hand reached the base first, and that results in him being safe. But like I said, good double play opportunity for Middle Creek. Ground ball here is going to get us out of the inning.
Another attempt.
I think Jimmy's a little concerned about the steal here. We got Daniel Sanford behind the plate instead of Austin Parker tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does here. And so far, just caught that foul ball.
Yeah, that was a nice, right, inside corner strike. Clipped it off the hands of the batter.
Yeah, and you don't see him in the games all too often. I played with him last year on JV baseball, and he's great. He has a great attitude in the dugout. He's always positive, and I don't think they're going to be able to turn 2 here just because it was such a soft hit ground ball. But they're going to get the out. It's going to be 2 outs with a runner on second, and going to need to prevent a base hit into the outfield here to get out of the inning.
And now up number 3, Steele.
Yeah, they're really not, even doing much holding him on there at second. Just kind of standing there.
Yeah, you're typically not concerned about runners on second. I mean, if you let them get too big of a lead, they'll have a quicker start towards home plate. But you're really not concerned about them just straight up stealing third base because third base is a lot closer to the catcher than, say, second base, and it's a lot easier just to throw them out.
So that's now strike number 2. The first pitch he swung at it, and now this was caught looking at the corner.
I'm gonna guess a curveball here. He's had pretty good success with it so far, and maybe not. He hasn't really swung too much at the fastball, so it's gonna be interesting to see what he does. And he does go with the fastball, grounder back to Jimmy. It's plant throw, and that's gonna be 3rd out of the inning. So Middle Creek gives up 1 hit, nothing, no threat from that. The score is still 0-0. When we come back, it's gonna be the bottom of the 2nd inning. You guys stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. Back with the Sports Block. It is the bottom of the 2nd inning, and the Mustangs are up to bat. The score is 0-0. The Mustangs have not gotten a hit yet. Not a big deal. It's only their 4th batter in the order. And I think we have Austin Parker up to that. He's DHing for Daniel Sanderford, our catcher for tonight. And Austin's usually our starting catcher. That's a little bit of the lineup change from Coach Thompson. So he hasn't really been producing offensively, so I'm kind of wondering about the decision here.
So it was a high first pitch for a ball 1. And he does have a big, because he's tall. He's got a big, strike zone.
Yeah.
Couldn't think of the word. That was inside for ball 2, making it 2-0.
Yeah, as a pitcher, if you have the number 4 batter, number 4 batter is typically thought of to be the most powerful hitter on the team. So you typically don't, as you see right there, that's a deep line drive down the left field line. It ended up hooking, going completely out of play. But just displaying what I just said, the number 4 batters can usually hit very well, and as a pitcher, you do not want to give them opportunity to get an extra base hit.
So I guess that's why Thompson put him in there, because he knows he could produce it out there. He could put it out.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, he hasn't really been producing that much. And
so that's another foul ball there at third base line to make it 2-2 now on the count.
Yeah, I didn't have the best angle on that one, but it looked like that one might have been fair. Third base didn't initially call anything because I don't think he was sure. The home plate umpire confirmed that it was a foul ball. And that's a curveball. It kind of tailed out towards the outside corner. It's going to be kind of popped up towards the right field line. Right fielder had to make a little bit of a run there. Not huge trouble for them. It's the 1st out of the inning.
And number 12, David Salmons up to bat.
David, as you might have heard before, he is our quarterback for the Mustang football team. He plays right field, and let me just tell you, he has a cannon of an arm. It's a ground ball over the first baseman, fields it, not a problem, touches first base. And that is the second out of the inning. And, you hate to see these slow starts, but sometimes it happens. And, Middle Creek just has to bounce back, see the pitcher the second time through the order, make some adjustments, and start producing.
And number 2, Colin Pelosi is up to bat now.
So that was, outside pitch to make it ball 1 on Colin. And, we got the 2 outs now, so maybe we'll get a little rally going.
And that is a line drive into the left field for a base hit for Colin Pelosi. And, Colin's one of the underrated players on the team, as we've said before. I think Coach Thompson actually moved him up in the lineup. But, he's just been a solid train of producing base hits. He came in with a clutch one last game that scored a few runs. And, most pitchers underestimate him because of his size, but that's not the case at all. He's a very, very solid hitter.
And Diego Guerrero, number 4, is up to bat for Middle Creek.
So now I guess we got that 2-out rally going. Get the first hit of the inning, first hit of the game, actually. It was a solid hit.
Diego is our shortstop, and he's also been doing great hitting as well as playing shortstop this season. I know he's younger, isn't he, a freshman or sophomore?
Yeah, Diego's a freshman. You haven't seen much of his balls drop in the playoffs so far, but you know what? He has great hitting capability, especially for a freshman, and I think that his throw over to first base, and Colin was just standing on first base, but...
Yeah, they definitely know he could steal, and they're just like, I'm going to throw it anyway, even if he's there or not.
Yeah, it's not too uncommon for this level of play for pitchers to get scouting reports. I don't know if they really have one because they're so far away from Middle Creek, but maybe moving on in the championship game, everybody's going to have a scouting report on each other.
They could even watch the sports block, and, they probably watched us.
Yeah, you know what? Why not get as many viewers as we can get? But, the sports block is meant to be used for good and not evil.
Whatever it gets to get, viewers.
Yeah, you know what? And Colin got thrown over to for the 4th time. This crowd gave a little bit of a boo there from impatience.
So now we got 1-1 here with 2 outs, and we got Colin at first. Watching him closely.
And that is the 5th throw over from the pitcher. And, as a pitcher, you got to keep them on your toes, but there's a certain line you can draw where you don't need to throw over to them, 3 times before you pitch the ball every time.
Yeah, true. I would like to see the catcher, though, throw it. I want to see if he has a cannon or not, so they really know if they can really keep stealing enough.
Yeah, typically you look for that stuff in, warm-ups, but as we saw a few games ago, or maybe even last game, I don't know. Yeah, it was a few games ago. The catcher, during warm-ups, he just lobbed the ball down to second base, nothing special. And then, we try and steal on him, and he throws 3 out of 3 of our stolen base attempts out. So he really shut down a running game.
It's a nice little trick play, too.
Yeah, sometimes it's just for catchers to rest their arms. I don't know if they're trying to be, deceptive, but it doesn't hurt. And that's a little bit of a line drive over the third baseman's head. Just kind of poked the bat out there on an outside pitch and managed to get a decent hit over, like I said, over the third baseman's head. So, like you said, rally with 2 outs, got a runner on first and second, and that was the second hit for Middle Creek.
And this brings up number 5, Graham Edwards, who is usually our starting pitcher.
Yeah, Graham's one of the elite pitchers on our team. He's a left-handed pitcher as well as a left-handed batter. He has great movement on all of his stuff, and I would not be surprised if he comes in here to pitch an inning or 2 this game. So,
it looked like Thompson's telling, his base runners, once Graham hits it out in the, if he hits it in the outfield, just keep running.
And there you go, but it looks like the shortstop's going to catch that dying ball. So you know what? Middle Creek gets 2 hits. It's nice to see some productivity out of them. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're watching Sports Block. back with the sports block. It is the top of the third inning, and the score is still 0-0. Not much offensive productivity from both sides of the field. Middle Creek has 2 hits, and Richmond only has 1. A little bit, it's kind of a 2-out rally last inning, but nothing came out of it.
So we got more first pitch swinging here to make it the first strike. They're still looking pretty late. Even honestly, both teams were looking late.
Yeah, I think last inning Middle Creek hitters did a good job of adjusting to his speed and his off-speed pitches. I think that Richmond's going to have to start adjusting to Jimmy's speed and stop swinging at first pitch strikes.
Well, it hit something out there as it fouled right back at us to make it second strike here. That was pretty high, but he went for it anyway.
Yeah, and a good job by Jimmy keeping the hitters off balance, as you saw right there. He threw a curveball, caught him a little bit off guard. But as a pitcher, you can't just throw, like fastball, curveball. You always have to be mixing it up. Like, for example, you could start off the at-bat with a curveball and then throw even another curveball and then end it with a fastball. You just have to keep your hitters on their toes.
Definitely mix it up a little bit.
As he did right there, he threw a curveball. It was dirty. Started off over the middle of the plate, ended up on the outside corner, and that's going to be the first out of the inning.
Yeah, he had him guessing right there.
Yeah, you saw that. He was way out in front of the ball. I think he was expecting fastball and got curved.
And number 2, Sweat is up to bat.
Sweat is the number 9 hitter for Richmond County. Doesn't really mean much at this level of play, as like I said earlier, everybody's capable of producing, but typically not the most powerful person on the team can be sometimes viewed as a second leadoff man.
So we got Bowl 1 now on the outside. All we know is he could be the best hitter of the team, and they just put him at the bottom, produce some base runners.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, coaches can try and mix up the lineup to confuse people, but typically they won't, just in case they get in a situation where they need a power hitter somewhere early in the lineup. And there's a soccer ball out on the field. Nice kick by David Salmon, getting it over the fence. Potential soccer star? I don't know.
So that made it ball 2 now on him. So it's 2-0, and we got 1 out from the last strikeout.
And I have a West Regional's final score update. It's the end of the first, and East Forsyth is up 1-0 on Huff.
That was the first strike of the at-bat. It looked, to me, actually, to be a ball a little bit low, but umpire calls it a strike, and count is now 2-1.
Can't complain about that.
Not if you're on Middle Creek side. And that is a foul ball over towards our hill, which is populated by a lot of people. And, speaking of a lot of people, there are a ton of people here.
There is.
Just like every other playoff game we've been in, except for maybe the first one. Stands are full. The bleacher behind us is full. And that's a strikeout with the second out. The hill is full. The parking lot's packed. It's got to get out here early for your seat.
Because now they're figuring round 5 might as well come see a game.
Yeah.
Because was it a 3-game series? So was it tomorrow they're away? They're away, and then depending on the score, depending on the games, who wins this and who wins tomorrow, they could come back to Middle Creek.
And that's going to be popped out to the first baseman, probably going to be the third out.
And that completes Richmond's at-bat. The score is still 0-0. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with the Sports Block.
back here with the sports blog. We got Bomb third, no runs here, and Middle Creek is up at bat. We got Blake Hunley here, starting it off for us.
We got the same pitcher up for Richmond, number 17.
And it looks like, top of the order is on deck, Tyler Scholars. And that is first pitch swinging there for strike one.
And, Blake, he hasn't been producing too much in the past couple games, but he is a really good hitter, especially to be at the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah, he struck out twice last game, but he's got speed, as you see right there.
And that was a really hard throw from the shortstop. He had a cannon there. It's just a little, if he didn't have, first baseman didn't have to jump, I think he might have had him there.
Yeah, he had to throw off arm solely. He couldn't get any momentum behind him, and Blake's just able to beat that one out. So I think that's going to be considered an infield base hit as opposed to an error on the first baseman.
And back to the top of our lineup with number 21, Tyler Scholler.
Blake is another one with some speed. They're definitely watching him closely now at first, because Thompson likes to steal, so I think they definitely know that they like to steal a little bit.
And that ball's going to get behind the catcher. It's going to trickle away. So Blake's going to advance to second base with no outs, and this is a great opportunity for Middle Creek baseball.
You'd rather have that than, getting picked off or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? We got a runner on second base. Our top of the order's up, and I don't think we can be in a much better position at this point in the game.
Yeah, a nice base hit to the gapper in the outfield will definitely score Blake because he's got the speed to get there.
Hopefully trade places,
And that's going to be an infield base hit for Tyler Scholler. Pitcher went to go barehand the ball to get him quick out over first base and just completely missed the barehand.
I think he thought it was going to bounce up because he kind of lifted his arm up, so he didn't want to get hit with it.
And just stayed down and got by him. And now Middle Creek has a runner on first and third with no outs and Jimmy Boyd up to bat. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do here. You can't pitch around Jimmy because you got Keenan Herring coming up to bat. So they're kind of going to have to pick their poison here.
And you got a good Tyler Scholl's a pretty good base runner there at first, and you got speed at third. So really, you should, if you get a base hit, you should score one, and maybe Scholl's could reach the third. It all depends.
Yeah, anything hit to the right side is usually going to be a run, and Tyler advancing over to third base. And it's going to be, I think Coach Thompson's going to have Tyler steal here, so it's going to be interesting how they decide to work the first and third steal.
Yeah, you don't want to get a double play here either.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great point. Not only are you advancing a runner into scoring position, but you're eliminating the chance for a double play. And with an inning like this, we would score a run on a double play, but with we're on a roll, and you don't want to give them any easy outs.
So that was inside. So that's ball two now on Jimmy, and we got none out here at the bottom of the third.
And a walk for Jimmy right here wouldn't be too bad since we have no outs, but it'd be really nice for him to get a hit because we know he can hit pretty hard.
Attempted pickoff throw over to first base right there, trying to catch Tyler sleeping. But as I've said before, Tyler's a great base runner. He's heads up. He's mentally sound, and I don't think anybody should have any concerns about Tyler not paying attention on the base path.
Even a sacrifice would be nice too, just to get that one run in. You would advance, maybe possibly advance him to second. Very doubtful, but at least he'll get one run in if it's deep out there in the outfield.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Thompson does that with Keenan just because he's so fast. And that's the third throw over to Tyler over at first base, and I think both Coach Thompson and the fans are getting a little annoyed with how often this guy's thrown over to first base. And that's the fourth throw over, and I'm starting to get annoyed. Throw the ball, man.
Yeah, you get tired just sitting there watching him throw it over to first. Jimmy just wants a pitch to hit it.
And
he'll just score them.
And you know what? I say this, but it's the pitcher's game to pitch. He's in control of the game. He can do whatever he wants. There's no limit on how often you can throw over.
So that was a low ball there. After throwing it 4 times, try to pick him off. He's making it 3-0 now on Jimmy.
And I guess he knows, we have really fast runners on right now. He's just trying to get them off so they won't advance.
Yeah, and it looked like he took something off right there just to get a strike over the plate. You do not want to give anything for free to Middle Creek. Maybe you're avoiding the bullet with Jimmy, but, like I said, Keenan's up to bat, everybody in our lineup getting hit, and it's just going to be a matter of, there you go. That one looks like it's going to go out right now.
And that is,
It's off the wall. That is an absolute rocket off the bat of Jimmy Boyd, and he's going to have a stand-up double on that. Tyler's going to come in and try and score, and he is also safe. So that is a quick 2 runs for the Middle Creek Mustangs. Great hit by Jimmy right there. Got one eager drive, took it into right center field off the number 23 sign, and that one looked like it was going out, and that was probably the hardest hit ball we're gonna see all day.
I really thought it was out, but it just like clipped just below the yellow piece of the fence, and just a little higher up, that was gone.
Yeah, and Jimmy's hit a home run in this playoff before. He led off the first inning 2 games ago with a 2-run homer, and he's just been on fire since then. He's probably one of our most valuable players, pitching and hitting, and it looks like they're going to have a quick conference with the pitcher right here just to get things under control.
And it really helped that catcher for Richmond kind of bobbled the ball, as Tyler was coming in. It was a good throw, but just couldn't quite get to it enough to turn around and tag him out.
Yeah, when I saw that throw and he was coming through, I really thought if he had it, he caught it, he was dead. Dead right there.
Yeah, Tyler, he was a good I'm not good with distance, but he wasn't very close to home plate when the ball was coming close to the catcher. So, got a little bit lucky there. Maybe we didn't. Maybe Tyler's just fast enough to score.
Yeah.
Regardless, there's no outs with a runner on second and Keenan Herring up to bat. And I think that Richmond's going to have a hard time coming back from this one. Excuse me. Their offense hasn't really been showing too much signs of, life. And, Jimmy's just been holding them down. So, they're going to have to come back and respond quickly to stay in this game. Granted, we're only winning by 2, but momentum shifts, morale goes down.
Yeah, I've really seen a change in Middle Creek since the beginning of the season. We're playing just so much more advanced than we were. It's just like you can just really tell that the boys have been really into practicing and really into getting good ever since we got, pretty far in the season.
So now we got 1-on-1 here on Keenan. That last pitch, it looked low from us, but, what can we say? We're not the umpire.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this team's changed a lot since even last season. I remember last season we had, just to be honest, a terrible, win-loss record. We were sliding. We never really had any, solid performances, and they had heart-to-heart meetings like every day. They were talking about what needs to change, what needs to improve, and they never, they finished the season with a terrible win-loss record. And it was mostly because they weren't playing as a team. This year's team, everybody is playing together. Everybody's getting along. They are working together, and you see it right now.
Because it's almost, really, the talent is very similar. I mean, they're all pretty similar in talent. They all can produce hits. They all can really run and play their position. And that's what helps.
And that's going to be strike 3 on Keenan. That's the first out of the inning. Not much loss. We still got Jimmy over there on second base with Austin Parker, our cleanup batter, coming up.
And you really don't see Keenan strike out much. It's very, very odd to see that happen.
Yeah, and Keenan's a contact hitter. He does have power behind the ball. He's a great all-around hitter. And like you said, you do not see that very often.
You also don't see that very often either.
Yeah, we saw a couple attempts by last game's team, Millbrook, trying to catch him over at second base, but everybody's paying attention and hasn't really been too much of a threat for us.
So the first pitch here on Austin was inside for ball 1, and we got that one, first out there because Keenan strikeout. Jimmy with his double to score those 2 runs, so he's at second. We just really, you want a nice contact hit to bring him home, too.
Yeah, anything to the outfield's going to score Jimmy. Not only is he fast, not only is he a good pitcher, he is also very quick. And that's going to be a sacrifice, considered an out, but it's really a sacrifice by Austin Parker to advance Jimmy over to third base.
And now up David Salmon.
And you know what? That's not, I think that was a good I wouldn't say it was bad hit by Austin. Advanced Jimmy over. Granted, gave up an out, but now we have Jimmy on third base, a wild pitch, and a hit. It's going to score him here. That's going to be a foul ball out of play.
So that's making the first strike there on David. And now we got 2 outs with a man on third.
And looking over towards Richmond's side, they do not have much activity brewing in the bullpen. And that's going to get through. Oh, maybe not. Shortstop backhands it, throws over to first. Did not get it there in time as David's going to have an infield single and an RBI. So Jimmy scores there. David comes through. The score is now 3-0 Middle Creek in the bottom of the third inning.
And our dugout looks pretty excited. I don't see them slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, they're all up on their feet, too. None of them are sitting down anymore.
Yeah, everybody's excited. I know this was a big deal in our school. Even people who don't follow baseball are, very excited for the team.
Yeah, because it's the last school sport that's going on right now. Last full day of school is tomorrow, and then we got the exams coming up next week. So everyone's just coming out to see any sport event.
Yeah, you know what? And if we don't get any more home games, or if we end up losing the series, this is going to be the end of sports block for the year.
End of all these seniors, high school baseball careers.
Even us seniors, though, in the sports block, that's it for us, too.
Oh, don't remind me.
I'm going to be here all alone by my lonesome, talking for 3 hours to myself. No, I'm sure we'll get some people who sign up for sports block next year. Got to teach them the ropes. Maybe we can have you guys guest appearance every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
So we got 1-1 now here with 2 outs, and we got David there on first, who scored Jimmy with that single. A single. I don't know why I said signal.
The pitcher continues to try to throw out base runner on first.
What else is new?
A lot.
There he goes again. It looks like a pattern, though. If they have a man at first, he's going to throw it a good 3 times at least. And then they'll decide to pitch to the batter.
Whenever that may be, right?
It might just be his tactic to just tire him out as much as possible.
That's a pass ball past the catcher. Did not tip off Colin Pelosi's bat, and David's going to advance over to second base. So another running in scoring position with 2 outs, and Colin's been red hot, so let's see if he can, potentially drive in another run here.
But he did swing on that and hit off the pads of the catcher, like you said, so that does make it 2 strikes now. So we got 1 and 2 on him, and we do have 2 outs. So hopefully we still get that rally going.
And another throw over to second base. Yeah. So still 1 and 2. It's Colin Pelosi. I don't really know why you try and throw over to second base. You have 2 outs on the batter, and he's not really stealing through it. And it's going to ground it over to the pitcher. He's going to plant, throw, get the out at first. So that's 3 outs for the Mustangs. They're going to go down, but not before they score 3 runs right there. When we come back, it's going to be the top of the 4th, and Richmond's going to have the chance to respond. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. And we're back with the sports block. It is the top of the 4th inning, and Richmond County is up to bat. And we are joined by another commentator here, PJ Bellatoni. He's another senior of ours. And he doesn't have a headset on, so he can't hear us. But just say hi into the microphone, and I think you'll be good.
We're working on that.
So we got the first strike here now on Richmond.
And this is number 9, Butler.
And Middle Creek scored 3 runs there last inning. Jam-packed full of offense. Great job by Jimmy hitting that gapper into the fence out in right center. And he's quickly got this guy to 0-2 here.
And just checking in on the East Forsyth and Huff game. It's the end of the second. Score still the same with East Forsyth up 1-0.
That was an outside, that was a hard pitch. And that was outside.
That one looked like he threw it a little bit harder than the rest. And not a bad idea by Jimmy trying to throw it a little bit outside and maybe get him to chase.
It's another outside pitch to make it 2-2 now on him.
Yeah, that was another dirty curveball from him too. It started towards middle outside and ended up way off the plate. So maybe you have to work on control of that curveball here.
He's probably trying to have him chase though after it.
Yeah, and there's another fastball towards the outside part of the plate. Hits Graham Edwards, fields it, no problem, steps on first, and has the first out of the inning.
And he did have him chase right there on that one. So I guess his deed was done what he was trying to do.
Yeah. And as a pitcher, when you have 2 strikes and only no balls or a ball on the batter, you don't want to give him anything he can hit because you have him so close to the strikeout.
And this is number 23, Brown.
And that's a routine ground ball hit over to Tyler's shoulder. Fields it, throws it to first base, and that is a quick second out for the Middle Creek Mustangs. So Richmond is, I wouldn't say they're sliding. They haven't heated up yet. They only have 1 hit, and it doesn't seem like they're, I don't see their offense turning on, and they're going to have to start fixing that.
I mean, they are hitting the ball. It's just like it's not going anywhere. It's just not leaving the infield, and our infielders are pretty strong, so they're getting the ground balls and getting them to first.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a great job by Jimmy forcing the ground balls and not letting them elevate on anything. He's keeping his pitches. He's keeping them, he's locating them great. He's keeping them low, and can't ask for much more this far into the game.
And this is number 17, Mercer, who is a pitcher for Richmond.
So that makes it now 1-1 here with 2 outs. Jimmy looks like he's bringing the heat even more this inning.
Yeah, probably has the adrenaline rushing through his veins from the hit out into the right center gap last inning.
Yeah, Jimmy really does do good, under pressure and, in situations where some people can get a little worked up.
That was a dirty curveball right there.
That was a big swing for second strike there.
Yeah, and this is number 17, Mercer, who's the pitcher and the number 4 batter, so that just tells you something. He's definitely got a good curveball there. Ooh.
That looked pretty close, but the umpire called it outside to make it in 2-2 now on the count.
Yeah, a great pitch by Jimmy. It looked like it could have been a strike. It wasn't anything that he could get a good hit off of, and gonna force the count to 3-2 here.
That was low, and it looked like it might have clipped, Sanderson there a little bit. He's a little slow getting up. Looked like he has to take a breather for a sec.
Yeah, looks like Coach Thompson's going to come out here real quick and talk to Daniel. But as always, he has a smile on his face, optimistic attitude. I remember last season when he was on JV, he broke his finger and he still caught for us. He is extremely dedicated. He's a great influence in the dugout. He smile on his face, always keeping a positive attitude. And even though he didn't start most of these games, he's always there, helping support the Mustangs, whether it be from the dugout or in practice. That's going to be a ground ball over to Jimmy Boyd. Fields it, throws it to first base.
Oh, looks like the pitcher, number 17, who was running to first, has pulled something or cramped.
That's a shame. He was in real pain.
He went down quick, too, as he was running.
Yeah, nonetheless, we're going to take a cramp. We're going to take a quick commercial break. The score is still 3-0 Mustangs. We'll keep you posted on the pitches. Stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. And we're back with the sports block. The score is 3-0. Middle Creek Mustangs on top. Last inning, you saw the pitcher batting. He was running to first, and he went down hard. He's actually back on the mound. It looked like he maybe had a cramp or a hamstring injury, and he's fine. He's going to shake it off. Although Richmond does have bullpen activity.
You know, when I first came in this game, I was coming in when Jimmy almost hit that home run, and I thought it was going out. And I stopped in my tracks, and I was like, oh, it's about to be gone. So that's a good note to come in on.
Yeah, and that's P.J. Bellatoni came in a little bit late there.
And Diego Guerrero is up to bat right now, and in Richmond's bullpen is number 16, Sears. So
we got the first pitch here, a little inside and high for ball one.
And that's a first strike of the at-bat. And no surprise coming from the Richmond bullpen activity. When you see a pitcher go down like that, it's very easy to, whatever he did, potentially re-injure it or have it flare up again. So you need to be ready for if that does happen.
So Diego fouled that one foul on third base line to make it second strike. So we got 1 and 2 now, with none out here in the bottom of the fourth.
So back to the West Regional Final. A player from Huff just hit a home run and brought 2 in, so Huff is up 2-1 on East Forsyth.
And that's a hit by Diego Guerrero. That's going to be considered an infield single, which they seem to be getting a lot of this game. He hit it in between third and shortstop. Shortstop tried to spear it, but even if he had managed to hold on to it, I don't think he would have much of a play over at first base. So there's a runner on first base with Graham Edwards up to bat.
Now, why wasn't that an error? Because he did, he clipped it with his glove, but he just left it on the ground. He didn't even try to pick it up.
Well, kind of the rule of thumb here is that, and Graham's going to lay down a bunt here, sacrifice bunt. But the rule of thumb here is that if you're running the scorebook, you consider something a hit and error, infield hit or an error, based off of whether or not that person could have thrown the guy out at first or not on plays like that. If that ball was hit harder and he was only halfway down the line when he speared the ball, then that might have been considered an error. But since Diego was already close to first base, he's gonna have an infield hit, and it looks like the pitcher's having some difficulties out on the mound right now.
Yeah, it looks like he's walking it around a little bit. He might have flared it back up.
It looks like
yeah, and they're gonna give
Sears
up the ball. So they're gonna take a pitching change, and we're gonna take a quick commercial break. You guys stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. And we're back with the Sports Block. Richmond County made a quick pitching change. Their previous pitcher is having some difficulties with his hamstring, something stuck in his leg. So they're going to make a pitching substitution. This is what number is this? 16, Sears. And we're going to see what he got.
And Blake Hunley is up to bat for Middle Creek still.
we got a runner on second base with only one out. And first pitch fastball from him, and it doesn't look like he's throwing very hard.
Yeah, and that was pretty high too, so it's going to take him a few pitches to really get in the strike zone to make it. So that made it ball one now.
It's another ball in the inside corner right there. And you know what? We had a lot of people here at the beginning of this game. Right now, it's it is absolutely swamped. There's I'd be surprised if you can even reach the concession stand right now. There's just that many people here.
Yeah, there's a lot of support. It's the most I've ever seen, and I've been coming to these games for 4 years, and this is a lot of people. I know it's the farthest we've ever been, but it's great to have all the support.
Yeah, you know, like I said, every other game, you got teachers, students, and everybody from the spectrum of, you know, high school. Got Coach Bailey, our junior varsity coach, out here with his baby. Got other teachers, various teachers from you know, different classes, even those who aren't involved in sports.
So it's another high pitch there to making it 3-1 for Blake.
Catcher's gonna go out there and talk to him real quick. Just, I don't know, settle him down real quick. Came out there, you know, in the middle of the inning. Sometimes can rattle your nerves a little bit. You have to get used to pitching from the rubber.
Yeah, it's looking like the catcher before got frustrated because he kind of just stepped off the mound and said that I think he wanted him to throw, you know, try to pick him off at second. So I think they're talking about, like, you know, signals and stuff. Like, watch me, you know, you got the signals now, right?
Yeah. I mean, you know, catchers, it's they get the sign from the coach to throw over to second base, and the catchers get the sign to the pitcher, and the middle infielders have to pick up that they're going to try and pick it off. And it's a very complex, not complex, but difficult process, I guess, for everybody to know what's going on. And the last thing you want to have happen is have your infielders going towards second base and your pitcher not aware of what's going on.
And back up to the top of our lineup, number 21, Tyler Scholler.
And this is kind of how it started off last inning. We got Tyler up to bat, and then Jimmy came up and hit that bomb into right center field for a double. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets another nice hit here again.
So strike one now here at on Tyler.
And that's a curveball that he swung at and hit off of his ankle. He doesn't seem to be in any pain, so it's fine. I think he might have saw like a hanging curveball there that I didn't just quite make great contact with. So 2 strikes on Tyler. He's going to have to protect here to avoid the strikeout. And, you know, just you really don't want to hit into a double play here to end the inning. So it's kind of a tricky spot as a hitter because you don't want to, you know, give the easy ground ball and you don't want to strike out at the same time. And he is caught looking at his strike 3 for the strikeout. Can't say I disagree with the umpire there. That one looked pretty close. But now up to bat is number 1, Jimmy Boyd. Always a threat with batting. And we got 2 runners on base, so that's dangerous for Richmond County.
Yeah, and hopefully we still get that 2-out rally going like the last couple of innings where we scored that run. You know, the last inning where we scored those runs.
Just keep an eye on it, yeah.
And maybe this pitcher won't throw over as much as the other guy does. As Jimmy hits a line drive in between first and second, they're going to raise the runner home. He's going to be safe. And great, another hit by Jimmy Boyd. He's absolutely been on fire as of late. He is 2 for 2 on the day with a double and a single. And now we have runner on first and third with 2 outs. And now up to bat is number 19, Keenan Herring, who's always a threat. And you know what? Things are starting not to go Richmond's way as Middle Creek has 7 hits and Richmond only has 1.
And Middle Creek has 4 runs. And Richmond has none.
Richmond has 0. But you know what? Jimmy Boyd, he got recognition from the local newspapers after the last game. There's a great picture of him with his hands up, everybody in the stands with their hands up. It's currently his screensaver in digital media. But, you know, it's a great picture. Everybody, that game just, you know, put Middle Creek over the top as an elite team that has the potential to win this game or win this tournament.
Now, where is the championship game played?
The championship game, I am not sure, to be honest.
I believe it's Mudcat Stadium.
Is it going to be Mudcat Stadium? That's
I believe
exciting.
so.
That's really
Yeah,
exciting.
we go down all the way to Zebulon.
It's very exciting to get to play in a minor league stadium like that.
It's also kind of sad because we're not going to be able to do sports block unless, they let us use their...
We are allowed to do sports block this year for that.
Oh, really? They're going to let us use their equipment? Wow.
No, we'll bring our equipment, but we'll be allowed in the press box.
Wow, that's
a pretty good honor.
I will be there.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's like our senior night right there.
Although I'm going to have to say it's going to be a little bit difficult going all the way down to Zebulon. I don't know, how far is that away from here?
2 hours, right?
No, it's not too bad to go to the Mudcats game. It's about
45 minutes maybe?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to one next week. It's not a huge trek.
And that's a foul ball from Keenan. But, yeah, you know what? Even I'd be willing to make that trip. As a sophomore, I can't quite drive yet. But I'm going to find a ride. I will hire a taxi. I will. I'm going to Zebulon if we make it to the championship game.
So we got one strike here for Keenan. 2 outs. We got runners on the corners. Some strong runners on the corners, especially.
And this pitcher decides to keep throwing over first base, just as the other guy did. So I'm thinking this isn't a pitcher being called. I think the coach is giving these signs to the catcher.
Yeah, I guess they don't want to give Jimmy that easy steal the second.
And another throw over. Like I said earlier, it's the pitcher's game to pitch. Of course, people can still get annoyed with throwing it over as often as this team does. And that's going to be a ground ball up the middle. That's going to score Blake Hunley. And Jim's going to advance to second base. So it's now 5-0 Middle Creek Mustangs. And we got runners on first and second with 2 outs.
And we got our DH, Austin Parker, up.
And you know what? They're going to have to settle down here, Richmond County is, and really shut down Middle Creek's offense before things get too out of hand, because they're already starting to get out of hand as we speak.
Yeah, Austin's been pretty quiet this game. The last few games. Was it the first inning? Didn't he strike out the first inning?
Yeah,
he flied out or something?
He hasn't been hitting the ball too well. It's not that it hasn't been dropping. He's just been either striking out or hitting, balls on the infield or pop-ups or what have you.
So the first pitch now in Austin is a ball 1. It was low.
And speaking, going back to the Mudcats, I think that might be a problem for attendance, no? Because, the people who come out here for, see baseball in the 5th round of the playoffs, it's right, next door. That's not the case at all anymore. It's a, good drive down there.
I feel like, with all the support we have now, it's going to be a pretty good turnout, but it'll definitely lessen the fans.
And that is another ground ball in between second and first base. Jimmy's going to come around to score. Right fielder's going to fire it to the plate. It's going to be a close one. And Jimmy is safe. And they're going to throw it back down to second to Austin Parker, who advanced to second on that, taking advantage of the throw. So it's now 6-0 Middle Creek with runners on second and third. And I think it's safe to say things are starting to get a little bit out of hand now.
And there's that 2-out rally going for the Middle Creek.
There you go.
Scoring 3 runs again this inning, so far anyway.
Yeah, I mean, great job by Austin getting the hit. I think everybody on Richmond's side of the field is getting a little bit frustrated with not being able to stop this Middle Creek offense, and they're really going to have to if they want to have any shot at coming back in this game. It is a best-of-3 series, but you definitely do not want to lose that first game because you just don't. It puts you at a disadvantage right from the start.
Now, did David start this inning at bat? Have we gone around already?
I don't think so.
Nope.
I think Blake might have led off.
Ooh.
No. I think Diego led off, and then Graham bunted.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
The new pitcher came in.
And throw over to second base, another throw over. That makes it probably the 23rd throw over this game. I don't know.
So we got one strike right now on him because he fouled it over our heads.
And that's going to be a curveball low and outside to David Salmon, our quarterback. And the catcher's going to call a quick timeout, go talk to the pitcher, talk about things. And good call, timeout, trying to give him a little slap on the rear end there. Give him some motivation, cheer him up a little bit, get this final out, get out of this inning.
And the pitchers on Richmond definitely aren't scared of overthrowing the ball, as much as they're trying to pick off on first and second. When second, is a big danger, that could come with it. They're definitely not scared. They have pretty good target on their balls apparently.
Yeah, and that's a foul ball fouled back. And, come to think of it, they probably have spent practices practicing their pickoff moves. Otherwise, I don't think the coach would be as confident with his pickoff moves as he is.
Yeah, and it's like us, and Thompson likes to bunt a lot, so they practice a lot with bunting. And I guess Richmond's just practice on pickoffs and stuff.
That's going to be a ground ball over second base. I fielded cleanly. That's going to be the third out of the inning. So that's the last out of the inning. Middle Creek is winning 6-0. We scored 3 runs this inning. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're watching Sports Block. And we're back with the Sports Block. It is the top of the 5th inning, and Richmond County is up to bat. They are losing this ball game 0-6. They only have 1 hit so far, and Middle Creek has 8. So if things got a little bit out of hand last inning, they're going to have to come back here and respond with some runs.
Yeah, but they do have a chance because they go back to their home field tomorrow because it's a 3-game series. So they do have a chance to come back a little bit, make it interesting series.
Yeah, you always want your team to win, but it's definitely more entertaining when it goes into the 3rd game of a 3-game series.
And number 33, Brower, is up to bat now.
And that is a called strike on the outside corner. That one, to me, looked a little bit low, but umpire called a strike, and it is now 1-1.
It looks like every inning that Jimmy's on the mound, he's throwing harder and harder each time he goes up. He's definitely bringing the heat now.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a great job by him not letting up, as that ball is called off by David Salmon. Catches the ball for the first out of the inning.
If he could go all the way with 1 hit, that's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if Coach Thompson really wants to do that. I mean, yes, it would be amazing, but you definitely want to keep your pitching for, this next game or two coming up.
Yeah, but he also hasn't really thrown that many pitches because they got 1 hit, so he's been really, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that brings up a good point, but as we talked about before in other games, Jimmy has had those shoulder problems at the beginning of the year, so you never know. I don't know the status on them right now. Obviously, they're good enough to where he can pitch, but you definitely don't want to test it and overdo it.
I believe he's going to redshirt first year of college, I think his plans are to do that. I think he might have to have surgery this summer, so
Now is his shoulder, his injury, is it on his throwing hand, or is it his glove?
I think it was throwing hand, and that's a ground ball hit over to Diego at shortstop. Routine ground ball, fields it over to short.
I remember at the end of the last game that when he threw that last out, he kind of held his shoulder at the last second.
I didn't see that.
I was talking to somebody about that. I was watching the video in our class the other day, and he went to go grab his shoulder, so he was feeling a bunch of pain in his shoulder. So, that's another reason to rest him.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. And especially when you start seeing signs of the pitcher showing, maybe physical pain, you definitely have to watch out for it. And so far this game, I don't think – it wasn't this game you're talking about, right?
It was last game.
Yeah, I haven't seen him show any signs of pain. But like I've said, you definitely have to keep an eye on that, especially for, such an important part of this team being Jimmy Boyd. It'd be devastating if we lost him, especially with his offensive productivity in this entire playoff.
So 0-1 right now with 2 outs. And we'll make that 1-1 now. That was a high for ball 1.
And, interesting quote from Jimmy, actually from Coach Thompson. He told the newspaper this season, this isn't an exact quote, but this season Jimmy has put in twice as much effort as his previous 3 years combined. So, Jimmy bearing down, getting dedicated, taking this team into the final round, or potentially into the final round of this playoffs.
Yeah, and I can definitely verify that. I've been watching Jimmy since freshman year, and he does try a lot harder and work a lot harder. It's definitely true.
So we got 2-2 here now on Richmond's number 3.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs across the scoreboard. And that is a ball high and inside, so he's going to force the count to 3-2. You know what? Not much left to be said. Middle Creek's doing a great job in this game. They're keeping Richmond County's batting, at minimal. They've only given up 1 hit, and that's going to be strike 3. A little bit of delay, strikeout call from the umpire, but nonetheless, that's a 3rd out. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. When you come back, it's going to be bottom of the 5th. You're watching the Sports Block. And we are back with the Sports Block. It is the bottom of the 5th inning, and Middle Creek is winning 6-0. The last 2 innings, they have scored 3 runs each. So let's see if they continue that trend here.
Second baseman number 2, Colin Pelosi.
Number 2, Colin Pelosi is up for Middle Creek.
And like I've said before, Colin Pelosi is on a hot streak. He is one of the, important batters for Middle Creek. He's hitting a lot of clutch runs. He's come around in clutch situations, and he's been doing a good job at second base. And maybe I just jinxed him there, but that is a pop-up to the pitcher. Under it, catches it for the 1st out of the inning.
Yeah, I know. I've done that before.
Done what?
Jinx.
Oh.
Now back to the Mustang, shortstop number 4, Diego.
Number 4, Diego Guerrero is up to bat now.
And you know what? Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
You know what? Colin is, like I said, he's been on fire, and, everybody has a game where they don't get a hit or they only get 1 hit. So, I wouldn't be really too concerned about his hitting. He's 0-2 so far, but, nothing to worry about, especially with how good he's been doing in this series.
So the first pitch there to Diego is a little inside for ball 1. And, that last pop-up made it the 1st out here at the bottom of the 5th.
And it looked like Diego should have hit that one a few miles. It was a slow fastball kind of in the upper part of the middle of the zone. And that's right where, home run hitters, Diego's not always aiming for home runs, but that's where you can really elevate on the ball and hit into a gap. And he is going to take a hit by pitch right there. Didn't look very intentional from the pitcher. And getting some heckling from our crowd.
You know what? That's a free base.
Yeah, you know what? Especially when you have 2 strikes on you, you're gonna turn, you're gonna wear that ball for an easy on base.
Rather have a base runner than a strikeout.
Yeah, any day.
Number 5, Graham Edwards up to bat.
That looked right down the middle for strike 1. Even though you're supposed to take first pitch, I probably would have taken that, drive that pretty hard.
Yeah, like we've talked about this before. Graham's not the best batter on the team, as that's a pass ball from the catcher. Diego gets a little bit of a jump, late jump right there, but nonetheless, he's on second base easy. But back to Graham, he's not our best hitter on the team. And, I mean, he really needs something he can drive. I know last game he got on base, I think, 2 out of 3 times. So he's just got to stay in there, get his pitch, whether it be, taking the first pitch, doing whatever he needs to get his pitch in order to get on base here in this tournament. And that's going to be a off towards the handle into foul territory down the right field line, 1 and 2. Earlier in the inning, I think even before the inning started, it looked like Richmond had some bullpen activity warming up. I didn't catch who. I don't think anybody really did. But just something to keep in mind that they're thinking about switching pitchers potentially. And that is a third pitch, swung on miss for the second out. And we're up to number 7, Blake Humber. And Blake is our number 9 hitter. Hasn't really been doing the hottest this playoff season, but always a threat. And another pickoff throw to second base. This one, not as frequent as the other ones have been, but pickoff nonetheless. He's in there fine. And, just thinking about the weather out here, it's a little, humid, a little bit overcast. Sun's starting to go down, and the temperature is just perfect right now. And, Taylor, who's always cold, how are you feeling right now?
I'm a little cold.
Okay, well, it's great weather. Don't listen to Taylor. It's the first strike of the at-bat to Blake Hunley.
So inside pitch there for ball 1, making it 1-1 now. 2 outs, and we got a man at second. So you're hoping to get, deep in the gaps to score him from second, because he's got some speed too.
And even if not, and that's another pickoff over to second base, even if not, we're still up by 6. Their offense hasn't been producing that much. It's not going to be a tragedy if we do not score a run this inning.
And going back to the pickoffs, wasn't that last game was it Jimmy that threw it to first base and got the pickoff?
That was Sal.
That was
yeah,
and that was huge. Now he's going to go reaching for one there. Going to pop it. Looks like it's going to go out of play. So 1 and 2 to Blake.
And the East Forsyth and Huff game, same score. Huff's winning 2-1 in the 5th.
Yeah, and you might have seen the runner on second base, Diego Guerrero. He was halfway to home plate by the time that ball landed, and that's something Coach Thompson will teach to his base runners, because you never know, if the ball is going to drop. Granted, that one went well out of play, but just in general, even if the ball, especially with 2 outs, if the ball is hit, you are running. It doesn't matter if it's high, low, on the ground, in the air, on a bus, and a train. You're running. And that's going to be called strike 3. So Richmond County is able to hold them there. Middle Creek is still winning 6-0. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. You're watching the Sports Block. And we're back with the sports block. It is the top of the 6th inning, and Richmond is down to their final 6 outs. So far this game, they only have 1 hit and no runs to show for it. And we still got Jimmy Boyd on the mound. It looked like he was struggling with that shoulder there a little bit, doing a little bit arm motions, maybe trying to loosen it up a little bit. Coaches have decided to keep him in the game. We'll see how far into the rest of it he goes.
And it looks like we have a batting change. Number 8, Bullard, is up for the first time.
Yeah, that's a coaching decision when you have, your entire lineup is not producing. You try and bring in your subs, get some fresh looks on the pitcher, and maybe, get something started.
So that first pitch to him was a ball out, outside. He swung out his shoes on that one for the first strike.
It looks like Bullard is in for number 22, Williamson.
Yeah, there's no activity in the Middle Creek bullpen right now, so it's gonna be interesting to see who they decide to bring in.
Both bullpens too. Even Richardson, they have nobody going out there either.
Yeah, Richmond, they're trying to stick with their pitchers, maybe recognizing that this game's kind of out of hand, taking their chances with the pitcher they already have in there. That's strike 3, and the batter knew it for the first out of the inning. Like I said earlier, this is the best of 3 series, so if they lose this game, they are still alive, have potential to come back.
And now number 2, Sweat, is up.
He is their number 9 batter, so after him, it's going to be back to the top of the order, although they haven't been producing too much either. And that is a fly ball out into right center field. Keenan sees it, under it, catches it, makes it look easy. That was hit deeper than I thought it was going to go. That was probably 360 out into center field. The fence is 380, so not too far off from being a solo shot. But, Keenan, he is a great outfielder. He is probably the best outfielder I've seen on this team. He has great range. He has a great arm. He has a great work ethic. There is nothing that you cannot love about this guy.
And number 7, Smith, is up, top of the lineup.
That is a strike on the outside corner, so it's now 0-2. And that is a ball outside, trying to get him to chase maybe a little bit there.
That was a hard foul ball there to the first base side. He definitely reached for that too. He was lucky he got a little contact on that. So he's got 1 and 2 still on him. And we got 2 outs here.
Ooh, and that was a dirty curveball right there. It looked like it might have crossed the zone as a strike, but ended up a ball. So it's now 2 balls, 2 outs, and 2 strikes on the batter.
So what do you think? You think it was low or outside that he called it a ball?
I think that was probably a little bit low. It's like it was in the strike zone in terms of width. And he's going to get punched out there for the 3rd strike. So again, Richmond goes down with Richmond County goes down without much of a fight there. The score is still Middle Creek on top, 6-0. When you come back, it's going to be the bottom of the 6th inning. You guys stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Blog. And we are back with the sports block. It is the bottom of the 6th inning, and Middle Creek is still leading 6-0. And just looking around, you look at this crowd. Everybody's out here supporting each other.
We have a nice shot of the crowd over there with the crowd getting excited. Middle Creek's up 6-0.
I think everybody's very excited for this game, getting on top of the series. Everybody's showing support. Even the other team, who is a good 2 hours away, they have students, fans. Looks like maybe a few teachers here out supporting them.
So we do got activity there in the bullpen for Middle Creek. It looks like Sal Severese is warming up, maybe just to close it out.
Yeah, and Sal was the hero of last game, getting that pick off, holding them, not letting them score any more runs, which was huge for us. So it's going to be nice to see him back into the game.
Now, didn't he come in the bottom of the 6th as well the last game and close it out for us?
I believe he did.
Yeah, and Tyler grounds that one out for the first out of the inning. If Richmond's going to really have to keep us to no runs this inning, because next inning they come up, they are down to their last 3 outs. So, it's going to be hard enough to score 6, especially, if we tack on more, it's going to be even harder.
And, going back to the dedication of Richmond, 2 hours away, and it's a school night.
Yeah.
That is, they're going to get home at 12 o'clock at night. I mean, if this game, goes a little bit further, that's a long way home.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. And, now up to bat is number 1, Jimmy Boyd, who's been on fire this entire playoff season. He is now 2-2 in this game, but they single and a double, and I think maybe a handful of RBIs. Yeah, it's 8:30 right now. This isn't streaming live, but by the time they get home, granted this game ends around 9 o'clock, they're not getting home until 11 o'clock, and it is a Thursday, so they're going to have to go back to school on a Friday.
Well, they might, I don't know about what county they're in, but they might be done or...
Yeah, that's a good point. They might be. You never know.
Hope so. That's really late to be getting home and having to get up early.
But 2 strikes on Jimmy right now. That one's fouled out of play.
I've done that before for a basketball game. We got home at 12:30.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That was from New Hanover when we played them in the state playoffs in the second round.
Yeah, and I know, PJ, you did a lot of basketball for the sports block.
So we got 1 and 2 here for Jimmy Boyd, 1 out.
Don't have anybody on base, so he's not as big of a threat as he could be here, although he's always the fire starter for the Middle Creek Mustangs, getting things started with a good extra base hit. And that was a fastball on the outside corner. Takes it down the left field line out of play. And that is another foul ball down the left field line out of play. And Jimmy's fighting to stay alive here, maybe trying to get it to 3-3 on the day.
And it's the end of the 6th inning over at the East Forsyth and Huff game, and score is still the same, 2-1. So their game is pretty low scoring, as is ours is 6-0.
And that is another foul ball down the left field line.
Is that 3 or 4 in a row for him right now?
I think that's 4. And, in a situation like this, we're really not concerned about, getting their pitchers out. We're up by 6. They're down to their final 3 outs. So, fighting to stay alive, it's no longer a, wear down the pitcher. It's just maybe I can get on base, boost the batting average right here.
Yeah, might as well get, some more runs, some insurance, but they have enough. But you never know what's going to happen in the next inning.
Yeah, like Anthony kept on saying last game, you can never count a team out. Get math. Baseball is unpredictable. And that is a deep fly ball out into left center field. Looks like they're going to get under it, though.
Oh, wow.
Miscommunication, it looked like.
Yeah, it looked like they were both about to call each other off, and they couldn't make up their mind. And I couldn't really see. Catcher got in my way.
Yeah.
I saw some people on the ground, so I assumed somebody tried to dive for the ball.
Yeah, the center fielder dove, and the right fielder ran over, and it kind of clipped off the right fielder's glove and just kind of fell down.
I thought he had caught that. I was about to say that's an ESPN catch right there.
And that's actually going to count as an error according to the scoreboard. I don't know if it hit anybody's glove, but it was definitely a miscommunication and therefore should be ruled an error.
I tried to do what Keenan did about 2 games ago, was it? When he caught the diving catch.
Yeah, to end the game for them as
To
well.
end the game.
I actually wasn't here for that.
That was a great catch.
I was at the beach. I haven't even seen the video for it. I'm
I
gonna
don't-
check that out. Everybody's talking
Did we
about
get
it.
the video of that?
Yes, we do.
We did?
It's
Okay.
yes.
I didn't know if we were like zoomed away from it or anything.
And that is a ball in the dirt. Doesn't get past the catcher. Jimmy's going to stay on second base right there. Still only 1 out. Keenan hasn't done much this game, but I think he has gotten a hit up the middle. And as always, he is a threat. He's great contact, great power, very fast, talented both offensively and defensively. That is a called strike on the 1-1 outside corner.
So we got 1-1 on him now. You got the 1 out, and Jimmy is on second base.
Ooh, and that is a swing and a miss. Gets by the catcher. Jimmy gets a late start. Catcher is going to eat it, though. I think by the time Jimmy realized that was by him, the catcher had a pretty good jump on the ball. But, you know, Jimmy's fast. He kicked into the afterburn, and he is on third base with 1 out.
Yeah, we got, it sounds like a motorcycle trying to leave or something.
I don't know. What is that?
For a second, I thought it was thunder, and I was just about to mention how lucky we've
think he was
been
just-
about the weather.
He was revving up.
Showing off a little bit in the parking lot.
Is that coming from all the way over the parking lot?
Yep.
Wow.
That's going to be a pass ball past the catcher. Jimmy's going to come in and score. It's going to be 7-0 Middle Creek. And if you are Richmond County right now, you are praying to every god there is to let them score, at least make this game interesting in the last 3 outs that they got.
I'm really glad that this is a 3-game series just to give them another chance. With baseball, you can never really tell who's going to win.
Yeah, and I was talking to my dad about the series, about Middle Creek's trip into the playoffs, and he made a good point. Baseball is so unpredictable; it's almost an injustice to only advance off a win off 1 game. And Keenan's going to ground out to the shortstop for the 2nd out of the inning.
That was a great play by the shortstop.
Yeah, on balls like those, I know, as a hitter, you're like, oh man, I hit a weak ground ball to shortstop, but it's very difficult for the shortstop to make a play on that ball. It was wasn't hit very hard, and he had to come in, charge, and still make a solid throw while on the run. So kudos to him.
Yeah, he got it out of his hand real quick.
Yeah, and that's a good trait out of shortstop. I mean, ever since age 8, they will give you like a piece of wood and force you to use your glove hand and get the ball out of there. It's an interesting drill, but basically it just works on getting the ball out of your glove quicker.
And number 10, Austin Parker, is up.
So we got 1-1 now on Parker, 2 outs. And Jimmy scored on that last pass ball, so nobody on base.
Yeah, and a great job by Middle Creek scoring another run here. You always want to keep pressure on, even if you have a pretty good-sized lead. Like I said, baseball is unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. They could come out and score, 10 in the top of the 7th inning.
And Huff has just defeated East Forsyth in the West Regional Final, 2-1.
A little bit of a closer game than what we have here.
So now it's a 2nd strike there on Parker, making it 2-2.
And that is going to be called strike 3 on Austin Parker. So Middle Creek scores another run in this inning. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When you come back, Richmond's going to have their final 3 outs of this game and maybe try and make things interesting. You guys stay tuned. You're watching the Sports Block. back with the sports block. It is the top of the 7th inning, and Richmond County is down to their final 3 outs. They're losing 7-0 right here, and it's really going to take a lot out of them to come back and maybe make this game a little bit interesting. Now, just for some quick reference, after this game, there's going to be a game played at their home stadium over in Richmond County. The winner of that game, depending on who it is, if Middle Creek wins, they're going to advance into the final round of the playoffs. If they win, we're going to have a game 3, which I think is to be determined on where it's going to be at.
I think it'll be here.
It will be home. Even this game, though, you can't really just say Middle Creek is winning. I mean, they're winning by a lot, but you never know. One inning they could come back and score 10 runs, and that could be it for. And then Richmond County would win, and they could win tomorrow and go advance. You just never know.
Yeah, I mean, that's worst case scenario. I think Middle Creek's very good at shutting down games, as they're going to get the first out of the inning here. That is a ground ball over first baseman. Graham Edwards takes it and underhands it to the pitcher, Jimmy Boyd. And it looks like Jim is going to try and go for the complete game one-hitter here. And, even though it's not a one-hitter, it's still a very impressive feat, especially at the high school level where offense is usually dominant.
And that is definite that the final game will be played here.
If it's necessary.
Yeah, and I definitely hate to say I'd like to see them play again here. But just, everybody here has a great time here at the Sports Block. Everybody has a lot of fun. I know for me, this is always a treat coming out here, being able to, talk to you viewers about what's going on out here. It's just a great experience, and whether we win or lose, I've had a great time doing the Sports Block.
So now we got 1-1, and that easy 1 out before.
And that is a second strike, so it's now 1-2 with 1 out. And I can't imagine Jimmy's going to pitch next game, going to the complete game that he has. I'm sure we're going to be using Graham Edwards next game, as long as a little bit of Sal and maybe a little bit of Jordan Toller. And that is a ground ball to Colin Pelosi. Fields it, throw it to first. And Richmond County is now down to their final out.
I was talking to Sal in class the other day, and he said, depending on how Graham's feeling, if his arm is okay, he will be on Saturday, but it's a possibility that Sal will start that game. It just all depends on how they're feeling and stuff, how the players are feeling.
Yeah, and you definitely do not want to overwork your players, because you can get tired, you can end up throwing the game, or even worse, later on in life, overthrowing can easily damage your arm, and you do not want that to happen to anybody in high school, whether it be the Mustangs, their rival, anybody. You just don't want to see kids who have such a great time playing baseball have their seasons, careers ended because of arm injuries. And a lot of high school baseball, Little League, they've put rules in place to prevent coaches from over-pitching their pitchers.
Now, if there is a game 3, do they come here Saturday?
It would be Saturday.
So. I'm not sure about the time. It's probably earlier than 7, I would think.
Yeah, most likely probably a day game or something.
So this looks like a lineup change. It's number 16, Sears is in for the first time.
That is a line drive out to left field, so that breaks up the one hitter. Not a big deal, though. Kind of looked like Blake Hunley, wasn't going all out for that ball. Not a big deal. I mean, it's only 1 hit with 2 outs, although, of course, that could always come back and bite him in the butt. But, I'm not too worried about that. If you're Middle Creek, it's going to take a grand slam or 2 for them to come back in this game.
Now it looks like they're going to have a pinch runner there.
Looks like number 24, Rush.
So I guess they're going to, probably planning on stealing bases, I assume, with that pinch runner.
If I'm Richmond's coach, I would not risk stealing bases. I mean, yeah, you'd put yourself into a scoring position, but what would you really gain from it? I mean, you got a runner in scoring position, you're still down, 7 with 2 outs.
Yeah, exactly, and we have 2 outs already on them.
So, just let your hitters hit. Don't get picked off at first base, obviously, and see what happens.
Yeah, most likely they're probably not even going to worry about the runner. Just go for the batter and end the game.
Yeah. And that's a ball low. Looked like a breaking ball there. First pitch breaking ball. And that is a foul ball off the end of the bat. And that is strike number 1, so 1-1. That was a ball in the dirt, stopped by Austin Parker, 2-1. I think Jimmy's just really trying to close this one out here.
No, that's Sanderson. Austin is DHing tonight. Sandiford. Sandiford,
yeah,
excuse
that's my
me.
bad. I'm sorry. I did that even subconsciously.
Yeah, it's looking like, Jimmy wants to end this game, but he's slowing down a lot in his velocity.
Yeah, and you know what? This late into the game, you can't really complain about that. He's giving it his all. He threw extremely hard this game, and you can't ask for more out of our senior.
Yeah, as long as he just doesn't start walking, batters. So we have to, get a new pitcher in and extend this inning even more. That is really not needed.
Yeah, and speaking of Dana Sandiford, Jimmy hasn't let up too many people on base, but he's done a great job of catching the ball, which sounds ridiculous. Like you're a catcher, you're supposed to catch the ball, but you never know. And Daniel coming in, not always getting the start, comes in, does a good job, and that's really all you can ask out of the junior.
So now it's still 2-2. This next pitch could be the possible end, last pitch of this game.
And as you heard, the crowd's, getting really excited.
Trying to
clapping for
motivate Jimmy here, maybe. A little bit different from our atmosphere at the end of the last game where it was all tension. And that's going to be a fly ball into left field. Nobody's going to be able to come down with that one. You know what? Runners on first and second with 2 outs. Still not going to worry about the runners. We have a 7-run lead. Of course, things could always start getting out of hand. But we're in, looks like the middle of the order. I think the 6th batter.
Number 6, Bowie.
Buey or Buell? I can't really tell if that's an I
Oh,
or no.
it's Bowie. Sorry, I have bad handwriting.
And that's going to be a ground ball over Tyler's shoulder at third base. Fields it, throws it to third base, and that is the end of game 1. So Middle Creek comes out here, scores 7 runs, holds Richmond to 0, and they're going to win the first game out of this 3-game series. We're going to take a quick commercial break at the sports block. We're going to come back, do some quick stats, do some wrap-up and whatnot. So you guys stay tuned. You're watching the sports block. And we are back with the sports block. Middle Creek just won this game 7-0. Great offensive performance from the Mustangs. Fun game to watch, although there wasn't much coming out of Richmond's side. Great job gaining momentum early in the series. It is a 3-game series. They have 1 game won. We got some other news around the league from Taylor Ergel.
Well, as I said earlier, Huff has defeated East Forsyth in the first game of their series, and they will be playing again tomorrow. And the Holly Springs girls has won the first game in their series, which was against Jack Britt.
Yeah, and I think PJ has something to say right here.
I do. We have a complete game for Jimmy with a 3-hitter, and he pitched phenomenal, and he hit phenomenal too. He almost hit a home run there, and just leading this team in this game and putting them in a W in the book for game 1.
Yeah, always important. It's nice seeing Jimmy, who, as I said earlier, he's putting double effort according to Coach Thompson from his last 3 years. Nice to see him step up, take a role of leadership, a role of responsibility, and it's definitely showing. Middle Creek, I haven't seen them deflated or depressed in any one of these games. They've kept their heads up, and they have been winning these games.
So Middle Creek will be taking Richmond at their home field tomorrow at 7. We will not be broadcasting that because it is there. And, if Richmond does win there, we will be back here, I believe, Saturday. And if it's possible, we will be broadcasting that.
Yeah, we'll see about that one. I don't know if we're going to be able to broadcast that. We might be losing some people. As you know, it is Memorial Day weekend, and people are going to be leaving. But that's good. We're probably going to wrap it up here at the Sports Block. If you don't hear back from us, I guess that might be a good thing, hopefully. So again, Middle Creek won 7-0. Jimmy Boyd threw a complete game 3-hitter. You guys have a nice night from us at the Sports Block.